13 whole Christmases that went by since the Mater Saves Christmas storybook first came out in 2010, and now we're finally getting a brand new diecast from the book, and it's a brand new character we've never seen before. That is, of course, Clutch Kringle. So welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everyone. I am so excited to get into this video. Probably going to be the highlight of the entire year for me, to be honest, because Clutch Kringle, I don't know, it just really shocked me when I saw this guy leaked online, his prototype image. I was like, what in the world? They're making a new classic Christmas car, and that is just really good sign, I think, that they still care about, not just the new stuff like cars on the road and everything, but they care about the original stuff too, like what came before, because this is from 13 years ago now. So it's just very surprising to me that they would even still consider to make a new diecast from the Mater Says Christmas storybook. I've always loved that book. Always been something that I've read pretty much every year and always just revisited because it's such a fun little book that they made. They don't really do stuff like that anymore, so the fact that they're still keeping it alive with new diecast just really, I don't know, it really makes me happy. I'm just really glad. What a way to end off the Christmas season. I know right now when I'm reviewing this guy, it's already like mid-January because my Clutch Kringle took forever to come in the mail. Got it from Mr. Doggett with a couple other Wintertime Cruisers diecast. I didn't get Sarge because I already had him. I did get Sally, Mater, Reindeer Snowmobile to get a second one up for some reason. Why not? And then Doc Hudson and McQueen. A lot of them were just new variants for me, but I actually never had Doc or Sally before. So I reviewed Doc, as you guys can probably remember. And now we're going to be reviewing Clutch because I just absolutely love this guy. So cool. Obviously, he has the classic Wintertime Cruisers packaging style, no different there, with the snow globe background, and you can see radiator springs in there. All the buildings have a little bit of snow glazed onto their roofs. Very nice. Very aesthetically pleasing packaging. I really like it. I do wish that they would change it maybe. Maybe they will for 2024. But, this is the third year that they're using it. So, I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of it, but it is cool. It's not like I see them in the store ever because I never found one of these in a store. They don't sell them in Canada, so that's why I guess I'm a little more lenient on it, not really bashing it too hard. I know some people are really tired of it, but I think it's cool. I mean, the snowflakes and everything, it's not really all that Christmassy either, so really they could sell these at any time of the year. I don't really think many people would bat an eye because it's not like full on red and green. It's more like winter time, which is why I'm reviewing them in January because, one of the reasons I don't feel so bad about reviewing them in January and not reviewing them, closer to Christmas like I had hoped. Anyways, here is the reindeer snowmobile I got just for size comparison. These guys are two of the smaller ones, and they're the only two. Oh, no, actually, no. Ramon was a new one, too. I forgot about him. He was new also in 2021. But these two guys are like actual full on new cars that we had never seen before in any way, whereas Ramon obviously was just a repaint. And the Reindeer Snowmobile came out in the Wintertime Cruisers line in 2021. So very cool. Now, 2 years later, we got another new car, and maybe next year, or I guess I guess it would have to be another 2 years if we're following schedule. Then I guess maybe we'll get another elf because there's quite a few elves in the Mater Saves Christmas storybook that they can make as diecast. Really, only like two distinct ones. The other one looks more like Professor Z. I think it's even smaller, so I don't know how that would work. But maybe they should have done it as like a two-pack, because they easily could have fit two elves in here, for sure, but whatever. Anyways, enough talk. Let's just open up Clutch Kringle and see how he looks. I just now cracked Clutch Kringle open, and I'm already going to say that he's probably going to end up being my favorite release of 2023. I mean, just the fact that he's a brand new Christmas car from the Mater Saves Christmas storybook that came out way back in 2010. I mean, that's enough for me to put him at the top of my list in terms of new 2023 cars. I just think he's so cool. He's so tiny, and I mean, even his name is just so thought out, and it's just, I don't know, everything about this car just seems perfect to me. I'm not noticing anything to complain about. I thought maybe like his eyes or something they would screw up on because he is made in Vietnam, and usually Vietnam cars do lack quality, I would say. but not with this guy. I mean, I saw some of the other Wintertime Cruisers I haven't opened yet, like McQueen especially, not that one, but the Snowplow one, and he looks pretty bad. So I don't know how they made Clutch Kringle look so good, but I don't know. They did a great job. That's all I can say. Anyways, before we zoom in and take a closer look at him, I want to show you guys exactly where he appears at in the Mater Saves Christmas storybook. Alright, let's see where Clutch Kringle appears at in the book. Here he is right there. Not really part of the book. This is just a little image they put before the book, but that's cool. And then I don't think he really appears at all until the very middle section, probably. Yeah, that's probably it. Right after McQueen and Mater arrive at the North Pole. There is a North Pole, so nicely illustrated. I love the illustrations in this book. And you can see a bunch of clutches right there. Even big old haulers that look like Clutch Kringle. Cars of different models. Wow, look at that snowflake truck. I didn't even realize that before. You got a Clutch Kringle looking tow truck over there. Wow. Who knows what one is Clutch? Out of those guys, this is Clutch right here for sure. Gotta be him. Wow, look at him next to Mater. He's pretty small too. So the diecast is definitely out of scale, but I mean, how small do you want them to make it? I think they did it a nice size. Does he come back later on? I guess not. I guess that's it for Clutch. Yeah, the reindeer comes back to town with Santa Car, so that's it for Clutch. He's not in it all that much, not as much as I thought, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I actually thought he appeared a little bit more, to be honest, but still, he has quite the little role in the book. He is one of Santa's little helpers, of course, and he's just a cute little car. Obviously, he's like centuries old. He looks like a little kid, but of course he's not, because elves are much, much, much older than they appear. Of course, they gotta be old to be that skilled at making toys and well, whatever they make for cars. I don't know how a car would play with the toys, though. What the heck do the elves make in the North Pole in the world of cars? Who the heck knows? I don't know. Maybe hubcaps and rear view mirrors. I don't know. That's probably what they make for Mater. Anyways, very cool, well thought out design that he has. Obviously, it's not like they just made it out of thin air. It was already made from the 2010 book, of course, but they just replicated it very well into a 155 scale die cast. I love his circular headlights that he has. Very detailed too, because of course they're not detailed like that in the book. Obviously, it's sketched out. It's not 3D animated, so really, really wild that they were able to make it look so good and so realistic. Like it actually just came out of a 3D animated Cars world, which is really awesome because I feel like with the storytellers cars back in the day, I don't know, sometimes they lacked a little bit of the finer details, I think, and I think that's because they were going off of 2D images, of course, not 3D characters actually that move around and stuff. You know what I mean? Very cool grill though, all nicely painted in silver. Cool little red oval emblem in the middle. Don't know what that says because well, it doesn't say anything. But I would imagine that if it was like 3D animated and everything, you could get those little details more than it would probably say some kind of car brand. Who knows what though? Maybe the Kringle company. I don't know. Very cool bumper. I love how his mouth is actually in between the two bumpers. Well, it's like one bumper, but it's like there's a line going through it, like two metal rods that make it up. You can see his teeth in there. Very crisp eyes, like I was saying. They did a great job on them. Really, really like them. Beautiful green color. Really goes well with his paint job, which is really cool. I love how the how he's got like this triangular type of beveled emblem kind of coming off and that really does come off the paint. It's really cool and it just separates the two colors, the green and the red. Of course the red is not metallic in the slightest, but the green definitely is, which is cool. Yeah, that's wild that they actually made that a bevel. Like you can actually feel it when you run your finger across it. I did not think it was going to be like that. I thought it would just be a painted silver line. Nope. His trunk is completely red. Very cool. I mean, every little detail is there. I was kind of thinking that he wouldn't have all these finer details because, like I said, he came out of a 2D drawn out book, but he does. He has them all. Cool little bumper on the back there. Really nice triangular shaped tail lights. Kind of reminds me of Flo's. Yeah, it's actually got tail fins, so yeah, I really like Flo's. And then he's got the little orange turn signal circular lights on the bottom. Very opaque windows. They're plastic, of course. You can't see through. That is usually how Vietnam does it. They've done it like that with other wintertime cruisers like Ramon. And Doc, they really did it. I don't know why, but you can't see anything in there. I feel like they maybe made his a little bit too opaque, but they did a good job with Clutch. And I love his little hat too. It's like a Santa hat, but then it's got this cool like green trim to it. The triangles. He really does have a lot of triangles all throughout his body design. It's really cool. Very nice. And I love how his mirrors, almost didn't realize that. His mirrors are actually like shaped like ovals, like they're pointy. Just like real elf's ears are. That's cool. They do kind of come down a little bit and they kind of like protrude into the paint job, so that kind of sucks. They are like a separate plastic, kind of like rubbery piece. But I wish they didn't go down so much, but I guess it's alright. Very nice wheels as well. Cool rims with the green, almost like a metallic green, actually. Yeah, it's the same paint as that, so it's cool. Metallic rims. And then the whitish, kind of silverish trim on there as well. On the bottom, made in Vietnam. And then it says, for the date stamp, 2413SD. So the 241st day of 2023. That's really weird because I was just rewatching Mr. Doggett's review of this guy, and his was like 80 something, I think it was. So the 81st or 83rd, I think it was, day of 2023. That is really wild because that's like a whole 200 almost days before mine was made, and they're both released at the same time, the same case. So I don't really get that. And also, this guy came from Chicago, where Mr. D is located at. That is where he picked it up for me at, because this is from my big haul of cards I got from him, as you guys probably saw on my last video. But yeah, I really, really like this guy. He's awesome. Anyways, let's zoom him on out now. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you guys him next to Professor Z, just for a size comparison. They're so small, we gotta compare them zoomed in like this. But he is a little bit taller than him. I feel like it's necessary to compare him next to Professor Z because I feel like if anyone was to make a custom of this guy, they probably would have used Professor Z. Definitely the most similar car model, I would say. I tried before, didn't turn out too good though. I had a broken Professor Z without the monocle, so I tried to make one. And I feel like on eBay, I remember seeing a lot of Clutch Kringle like customs made from a mini racer Leroy Hemming. I don't know why, but I feel like I saw that somewhere before on eBay, so I wanted to show him next to this guy. I know it's kind of random, but why not? And then, yeah, I guess next to the reindeer as well, because they are pretty much the same size. Reindeer's actually a little bit taller. Not really like his middle part, but the little antlers on top, handlebar antlers, make him a little bit taller. He could actually ride in the reindeer almost. He can't quite fit, but he almost could. That's funny. Actually, yeah, look at that. He kind of can. That's cool. Wow, look at that. You really can ride on him. Sticks on there pretty nicely, too. His front wheels kind of like lock in or clutch in to the handles right there. That's cool. All right. Well, anyways, I think that's pretty much it for Clutch. Really not a whole lot to compare him to because he's kind of in a class of his own. We've really never seen an elf car before. So, I mean, this is the first one. Hopefully next year they will make some more. I mean, there's really only one other elf that they could probably make because all the other ones are like big trucks and stuff. So I don't see them making any of those. But they easily could make the smaller one, which is like more of a lime green. I think that's the same model as Professor Z. So they easily can make him. He'd be pretty small though. Maybe they'd have to do two in one, but I don't know if they could even do two in one. They probably could. The Wintertime Cruisers packaging because it's pretty thick. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it for Clutch Kringle. Let me know what you think of this really cool elf down in the comments below. I think he's one of my favorite cars that was released in 2023. To be honest, I mean, I just think how can you top this? An elf from Mater Saves Christmas, one of my favorite books of all time. I mean, how can you top that? Anyways. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you had or have a very Merry Christmas, depending on when you're watching this. And, yeah, that'll be it. I'll see you guys next time right here on the Cars Garage.